भारत में महिला उत्पीड़न की गंभीरता को उजागर करने के उद्देश्य के साथ न्यूज 18 नेटवर्क और ट्रू कॉलर ने नई दिल्ली में कॉल इट आउट कॉन्क्लेव का आयोजन किया ताकि महिलाओं को जरूरी इंफॉर्मेशन और एक्शन ओरिएंटेड रिस्पांस प्रदान करके हैरेसमेंट की रिपोर्ट करने के लिए एनकरेज किया जा सके। पॉलिसी मेकर्स ने इस कैंपेन को सपोर्ट किया और एक ऐसा इकोसिस्टम बनाने पर जोर दिया जहां हर महिला सुरक्षित महसूस कर सके।
इस देश में संविधान भारत का हर महिला को यह अधिकार देता है कि वो अपने जीवन के निर्णय खुद ले, कि वो स्वतंत्र हिंदुस्तान में सर उठाकर जिए। लेकिन इट्स नॉट ओके कि महिला को प्रताड़ित किया जाए। इट इज़ नॉट ओके कि सोशल मीडिया साइट्स पर उसे अपमानित किया जाए। इट इज़ नॉट ओके कि राह चलते एक लड़की को, एक महिला को छेड़ा जाए। इट इज़ नॉट ओके कि महिला को उपहास का या फिर एक सेक्सुअल ऑब्जेक्ट बनाकर समाज में उसकी चर्चा की जाए। इट इज़ नॉट ओके टू हरास विमेन। आज मैं चैनल के माध्यम से अपील करती हूँ हर हिंदुस्तानी को कि अगर महिला प्रताड़ित हो रही हो, अगर महिला को संरक्षण की दरकार हो, अगर महिला को सहयोग की ज़रूरत हो, तो कृपया 181 पर सरकार से, प्रशासन से संपर्क करें। इट इज़ नॉट ओके टू हरास विमेन। ये संदेश हर घर, हर समाज तक पहुंचाएं।
I think for many years the internet represented all things positive about technology. But clearly over the last 5 to 7 years there has been this phenomenon of user harm and the negative forces that are also on the internet. And clearly this is almost growing at a rate at which the internet is growing. And that is why if you see the government, when the government speaks about the policy, its policy positions on the internet, it says we would like to, we want to, and all of our policies are directed at ensuring that the internet in India is always open, i.e. free from any monopoly or powers, and B, it is safe and trusted, and C, that the intermediary user relationship is always one of accountability. Now for that, we have started with rules. I think we will progress as we go down the road with a new legislative architecture and framework that may include a new law, that may include new rules, that may include a broader data governance framework on how people use data, how people farm data, how people harvest it, etc., etc. I can assure you that our approach to this is very urgent. We know that we are going to go from 800 million Indians online to 1.2 billion Indians very quickly. We would like the institutional and legal framework for a safe and trusted internet and an open internet and an accountable internet to be in place before we reach those numbers.
ऑनलाइन विमेन हैरेसमेंट मुख्य रूप से 3 प्रकार से होते हैं। पहला बदनामी करना, दूसरा ब्लैकमेल करना और तीसरा हैरेसमेंट है बिना चाहे अश्लील मैसेज भेजना। यह उचित समय है कि हम भारतवासी अपनी माताओं और बेटियों को कहें कि हम मजबूती से तुम्हारे साथ खड़े हैं। साइबर अपराध विभाग के अंतर्गत ऑनलाइन शिकायतें दर्ज की जा सकती हैं, जहां आप अपनी पहचान के साथ और गुमनाम रूप से भी शिकायत दर्ज कर सकते हैं। हमारे दूरसंचार विभाग ने सभी राज्यों व केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को शॉर्ट कोड 181 आमंत्रित किया है, जिसका उपयोग कई अन्य महिला हेल्पलाइन के रूप में किया जा रहा है। इट्स नॉट ओके टू हैरेस वुमन एंड इट्स नॉट ओके टू नॉट स्पीक अप। जॉइन द फाइट अगेंस्ट वुमेन्स हैरेसमेंट। कॉल इट आउट।
कम्युनिकेशन को तेज और आसान बनाने में टेक्नोलॉजी का अहम योगदान है, लेकिन क्या टेक्नोलॉजी कम्युनिकेशन को सेफ भी बना सकती है? क्या एआई जैसे स्मार्ट टेक्नोलॉजी विमेन सेफ्टी में एक निश्चित भूमिका निभा सकती है? ट्रू कॉलर के को-फाउंडर और सीईओ एलन मामेदी ने कम्युनिकेशन को सेफ बनाने के बारे में बात की।
When it comes to women's safety, this was a subject that we realized this quite early. I think it was in 2012 or 2013. We started to look at our user base, and we saw that 40-50% of our users are women. And for a utility product like Truecaller, that doesn't make sense. And then we started to understand the reason behind it. And that's when we realized that, women are using our service in many different ways. They want to verify the Uber driver if he's a good actor or a bad actor. He wants to know who's calling me or who's texting me. Should I respond to this? The problem is that who is this person on the other side? It's usually someone hiding behind some aliases. And this is where Truecaller has such a big importance in the society, that we actually reveal the true identity of people. Companies tend to want to focus on many things and not do anything. And we felt that, look, we want to focus on one subject and be really, really good at it. And that's women's safety, and it represents our user base. I mean, in India, we have 220 million active users. Half of them are women. That's a lot of women. So a couple of weeks back, our team decided to put in a quick dial button inside of Truecaller to 181, the women helpline. And overnight, the number of calls doubled. So women calling in and reporting that they feel unsafe, they have been harassed or something like that. And they didn't ask for anything. We didn't ask for anything. We did it because we wanted to. And when speaking with Swati, who's the chairperson of the Delhi Commission for Women, gave me some good ideas on how can we, when women call this helpline, how can we trigger a location sharing to them so they know where this person is, because apparently that's one of the big challenges. How do you find these women who feel unsafe? So there's so much we can do, and we have the platform and the reach to create these tools to make communication safer. And these are unknowns, and I think that's always what drives us.
विश्व स्तर पर उत्पीड़न के खिलाफ आवाज उठाने और महिलाओं को सशक्त करने के इरादे से भारत और स्वीडन एक साथ आए हैं। भारत में स्वीडन के राजदूत क्लास मोलिन ने क्राफ्ट समला इनिशिएटिव के बारे में बात की और ये भी बताया कि कैसे ये जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन को ध्यान में रखकर सुरक्षित वर्कप्लेसेस का निर्माण कर रहा है।
Kraftsamla began as a fairly modest program in skilling in a few companies that traditionally are based in Maharashtra and in Karnataka, in Pune, in Bangalore, in many other places, but that's where the manufacturing companies have been based. So we started by taking in a consultant from the UN to look at what was being done internationally. How could we do it here? How could we also encourage more employment, safety in the workplace, getting to and from work, and also skilling women for women non-traditional jobs. All the companies are involved in this. It's moved on. The latest campaign is a gender sensitization project in awareness, really. The everyday pitfalls that we fall into, gender roles, micro harassment, and also things that in the workplace should not be there, should never have been there, but certainly shouldn't be there in 2022. And we're very happy that Kraftsamla continues to garner a lot of interest. And the companies, the chamber, and of course Team Sweden as such is very happy to be part of it, to sponsor it. I saw we were patrons, we're also matrons of this program.
ट्रूकॉलर के डायरेक्टर ऑफ बोर्ड अनिका पोटिया ने नए वर्क प्लेसेस में सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट को खत्म करने वाले माहौल के विषय को आगे बढ़ाया। उन्होंने दुनिया भर के अनेक वर्क प्लेसेस को डाइवर्स बनाने के लिए प्रोएक्टिव स्टेप्स उठाने की बात कही।
In recent years, diversity and inclusion have climbed up on the top of the agendas of boards of directors all over the world. Today in Sweden, there was one study that said that the percentage of women in the working age that are in the workforce is 78.6. However, there is still much work to do. Percentage of women in senior executive roles is just about 17%. And that is same also in India. It's a low number for that. And why is that? It's the social norms, I would say. It's not the women who need support to have a career in a company. It is the bosses who need this retraining in how they think. And I think we need a change in how we look at women as workforce. We are equal in all the sense. At Truecaller, we believe that harassment and abuse, that they are major barriers to to women participating in the workforce. It's only about 20% of women in the working ages of 15 to 59 years that are part of the labor force. This is official figures. Also, in the majority of women, working women, not in the formal organized sector, that's 90%. There also, for them, issues of harassment, abuse are even more acute because they don't know where to turn to. They don't have the ability and lack access to basic mean of redressal. So that's why it's important, I would say, that we have board representation, we have women, we have role models, we have bosses who are women, just because they are real life influencers and showing the way, and I think super important.
आज फोन और सोशल मीडिया पे बातें करना हम सभी के लिए कॉमन है, लेकिन क्या यह कम्युनिकेशन महिलाओं के लिए सुरक्षित है? जाहिर तौर पर नहीं। ये देखते हुए कि भारत में हर 3 में से 1 महिला को अनवांटेड कम्युनिकेशन से गुजरना पड़ता है। न्यूज 18 नेटवर्क और ट्रू कॉलर के कॉल इट आउट कॉन्क्लेव के इस कैंपेन का फोकस भी यही था, जिसने महिला उत्पीड़न पर चर्चा करते हुए कम्युनिकेशन की सीमाओं को बढ़ाने पर जोर दिया। इस पैनल में शामिल थे रवीना टंडन, अभिनेत्री, अतिशी, MLA, डॉक्टर रंजना कुमारी, समाज सेविका और डायरेक्टर, सेंटर फॉर सोशल रिसर्च, छाया शर्मा, जॉइंट कमिश्नर, इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंस विंग, दिल्ली पुलिस, डॉक्टर समीर पारेख, डायरेक्टर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मेंटल हेल्थ एंड बिहेवियरल साइंस, फोर्टिस हेल्थ केयर।
हर इंडस्ट्री में, हर वर्क प्लेस पे कहीं ना कहीं किसी तरीके का हैरेसमेंट होता है। एंड जहाँ तक कि आप हरासमेंट की बात करें तो हमारे इंडस्ट्री में भी है। आई विल नॉट डिनाई द फैक्ट कि नहीं है। प्रॉबली हर एक लेवल पे एक अलग तरीके से हरासमेंट होती है। आई वुड लाइक टू से येस दैट दिस इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम दैट वी नीड टू टैकल विद ऑल द यंग माइंड्स, एंड इट्स वेरी नेसेसरी फॉर अस एज मॉम्स ऑल्सो to tell our children that this is the time, whether a boy or a girl, don't just watch silently, but yes, do speak out, because it's not okay.
Boys and girls need to be equally empowered, that both boys and girls need to see themselves as equals, as being able to do the same kind of things. That is really what our education system needs to give all children. I think since the POCSO has come about, there has been a lot of intensive outreach on children about various forms of abuse. And even within our schools, we have our Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights is regularly doing awareness activities so that children know what it is that harassment is. And number 2, we have counselors in our schools whom they can actually reach out and share in confidence any harassment that they may face.
Women don't speak because they, A, have been told not to speak. B, that the moment they speak, there'll be so much of social pressure. But it's not okay not to speak. It's not okay not to speak because decades of our work in the women's movement in this country, we have taught women to speak. If you don't speak, it'll never change for you. If anything happens, we have to create support systems for girls to speak out. If the support system is not available within the family, if parents are, rather reprimand them, punish them for speaking out, instead of supporting and standing by the girls and saying that, okay, if this has happened, we will take care, we will be with you, we will fight back along with you. Fine? That assurance they don't get. In fact, they feel very, very, shy to talk about it. And also the community that we are living in. Our community's mindset has to change. Communities have to accept that these are the things which are wrong in our society and we need to change them.
And we need to call them out.
Absolutely.
We need to call them out.
Call them out.
There has been a whole lot of narrative. There was crime against women's cell. There's a lot of Shashakti movements where we are trying to train women in UAC. We are trying to go to schools. We're trying to create awareness. And then this Nirbhaya thing and the Post-Criminal Amendment Act came. So from 2012, we've come a long way out. We have this Nirbhaya fund, which is being given to all states in the country, where we are trying to cover spaces. This bit about anonymity we are trying to cover. So I'm just going, just to give you a broad overview that from where we started and where we are today, movement which Ranjana ji is, every time the space her center is trying to create, what Delhi police is continuously doing new things We have the Himmat app for working women. We have the Mahila desk, which is running now 24/7 in each police station. So a lot of other things are there, which are, we have the special police unit for women and children, which is talking about planning on a very big level. We have these helplines, which are like 112, 181, 1096. All these are, we have people who are trained to listen to people who are in need for such work. I mean, and then we make sure that sometimes they say, I don't want my name to be there. This guy is talking me from this particular number. And that's all we need. So we make sure that that anonymity is there.
Depression, anxiety, insomnia, relationship problems, physical health problems, PTSD, self-esteem issue, body image issues will be overwhelmingly more where there is harassment. Media literacy is the need of the hour. We need to focus upon education while we continue to work on Call It Out, and we continue to make sure people have consequences. If you don't work on both spectrum, then you will fail.
दिल्ली पुलिस कमिश्नर राकेश अस्थाना ने दिल्ली पुलिस द्वारा उत्पीड़न से लड़ने के लिए किए गए दिल्ली पुलिस के प्रयासों पर रोशनी डाली।
We have an emergency helpline 112. It's a general helpline and a special helpline for the women in distress, that is 1091. If you happen to visit our command and control center, we are using the technology in the most appropriate manner so as to reduce the response time. I take pride in telling you that our response time has gone down from 8 minutes to 3.6 minutes this year, and we have been trying to improve it further. We have an anti-stalking and anti-obscene call helpline also, 1096. Last year in November, all the districts in the Delhi, we have started cyber police stations which are designed and mandated to investigate the cyber crimes exclusively. Apart from this, we have been working on a project known as Pink Booth. Right now we have established more than 125 pink booths across the city. These booths are manned by the lady police officer, and the women on the ground, if they want to have some assistance in physical form, our lady officers are there.
आंकड़े बताते हैं कि सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर 50% से अधिक लड़कियों और युवतियों को ऑनलाइन हैरेसमेंट का सामना करना पड़ा है। महिलाओं के लिए इंटरनेट को सुरक्षित बनाना और ऑनलाइन हैरेसमेंट की रिपोर्ट करने के लिए अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज के बारे में अवेयरनेस बढ़ाना समय की मांग है। महिलाओं और लड़कियों के लिए डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन को सुरक्षित कैसे बनाया जाए, इस विषय पर चर्चा करने के लिए पैनल में शामिल थे शाइना एनसी, पॉलिटिशियन और सोशल वर्कर, उसामा मंजर, फाउंडर एंड डायरेक्टर डिजिटल एम्पावरमेंट फाउंडेशन, केपीएस मल्होत्रा, डीसीपी, आईएफएसओ दिल्ली पुलिस, पुनीत भसीन, एडवोकेट एंड साइबर लॉ एक्सपर्ट, प्रज्ञा, डायरेक्टर, पब्लिक अफेयर्स, Truecaller.
By the end of it, I had 478 messages. They were in Hindi. When I read, it was about me, what I was wearing, my body parts, how this person is fantasizing about me. And it was extremely painful because I, for a second, thought, have I done something to gain this kind of traction? I registered a complaint, and I'm so glad that I did what I did, and I'm so glad I had my family support. I would urge every single one, put your career aside, put your, your thought processes aside, and really speak up, because it's just not okay for anybody to take advantage of you.
Solution is you need to approach the police. You want to maintain your anonymity? Yes, there are ways and means. You can report on the cybercrime portal. It is www.cybercrime.gov.in. Once you do that and you want to maintain your anonymity, there are provisions of the same. We have 15 cyber police stations, each for one for each district. So by means of that, we have created somewhere or the other geospatial advantage for the citizens of Delhi. So the person staying in one part of the Delhi can go to the nearest cyber police station in case he wants to report, he or she wants to report
even
in
if the
person.
harasser is not in Delhi.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere across the world.
You are being harassed immaterial where the harasser is.
Take screenshots of all kinds of content that would be, let's say, related to the harassment, whether they may be chats, whether identity-related photographs, content that you can collect. Let's say there are multiple people harassing you, something that has gone viral. Then the police also has the power to approach the court and find out the first originator, who is the person who has originated such content which is depraving in nature about you. So the entire evidence trail is there. It's just that the knowledge about how to get it should be there. Every evidence which is digital, and even if it's a photocopy or a screenshot, is considered primary evidence.
It is very important that we understand that online tools, curative tools are very necessary. But the point is that the bigger evil here is the social evil. And social evil can only be solved by preventive measures. Technology has preventive measures by identifying people.
About 1 in 5 women are harassed online, and we did a quick survey, and it basically said that 85% of the women got harassed, but only 12% of them reported it. And this is really the reason why we decided to build on the last 5 years of It's Not OK, saying that you need to call it out. There are also helpline numbers which we've pinned even within Truecaller. The role that our platform is playing is that because we're able to identify calls, women have a lot more context. When you have that context, it empowers you to block that number, and it also allows you to feel safe.
नई दिल्ली में आयोजित कॉल इट आउट कॉन्क्लेव में पॉलिसी मेकर्स, लॉ इन्फोर्सर्स और प्रभावशाली लोगों ने विमेन हैरेसमेंट से लड़ने के तरीकों पर रोशनी डाली और ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन दुनिया में महिलाओं की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करने के लिए एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अप्रोच को विकसित किया।